A very good day to you. I hope you're having yourself an amazing Monday night. That is, if you're watching or listening from Kenya, you're having yourself an amazing Monday if you're watching or listening from abroad. This is the Black Hot Fire updates. It's 19:05 East African time. And of course, I'm here to give you all the news, the propaganda, and the theatrics that are being served over the weekend with a lot happening throughout Africa. Not really a lot, but a lot was happening. Of course, it's Africa. A lot has to happen because this is a center, literally the center of the universe, for lack of a better word. So we're going to be looking at each and everything that was happening today. And we're going to start with Senegal, where one of the most promising leaders that we saw, that people had hopes on, that people believed would work, has turned out to be the biggest sellout. Talking about Senegalese President Diomaye Faye, who was yesterday tasked with bringing back Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger back to Ecowas. Ecowas is the West African bloc. It's a very old bloc, about 50 years old. A very oppressive bloc that does not work for anybody in the West African countries, really, but works for the ones who created it. It's one of the many blocks we have in Africa. We have other blocks such as IGAD. We have other blocks such as EAC, that is the East African Community. We have other blocks such as the COMESA. So ECOWAS is the West African Regional Bloc, which looks like it is going to disintegrate because it lost three of its most important countries, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Diomaye Faye was tasked with this. Why was he tasked with this? It is because on Saturday, the presidents of the three nations that are now calling themselves the Sahel Alliance, that is Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, ruled out any chance of them returning to the West African regional bloc. The leaders of the three countries, they met for their first summit in Niamey, that is the capital of Niger, after their withdrawal from the West African bloc ECOWAS in January. They accused the bloc, and rightly so, of failing its mandate and pledged to consolidate their union. The Alliance of Sahel States, it's called the AES, that is the new bloc now, that was created last year to work for the people. So, of course, General Abdurrahman Chiani, that he's the military leader general of Niger, said that ECOWAS was a threat to its states. They said we are going to create a Sahel alliance of the people instead of ECOWAS, whose directives and instructions are dictated by its power are foreign to Africa, which is rightly so. So, however, that meeting did not seem to sit well with ECOWAS because one, ECOWAS chief admitted ECOWAS was at the blink of collapsing if the three nations did not return to it. Why? Because they were some of the richest countries ECOWAS had, so it depended on them. So he said that ECOWAS is in the verge of disintegrating, and since he does not want ECOWAS to disintegrate, not just him, but also the masters who created ECOWAS, they tasked Diomaye Faye, who was quoted earlier this year saying that he was going to do everything possible to return Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger into ECOWAS.
They told his coon ass to kick rocks, get the fuck out. Joe,
Now that was
get get
this was
your get your white master's ass out of here.
Yeah, that was the first time they sent him. So yesterday they sent him officially. Now they tasked him with that official duty to discuss with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger and bring them back to ECOWAS. Otherwise, the bloc will collapse. Not my words, the words of the president of ECOWAS. He actually admitted, his name is Omar Alieu, he admitted that the bloc will collapse if the three countries do not
They've
come
already
back.
tur- they've already turned their backs. So he said we turn our backs on fake ass non-sovereign entities called ECOWAS. They already read it out. We turn our backs on this nonsense. That's right. Get on out of here.
They actually made it now more clear on Saturday when they met. They said that there is no way
Right.
they're going to ECOWAS, whose policies are dictated by foreign powers. They're
Right.
going to create a bloc for the people, by the people, and that is going to work for the people.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not going. We're not gonna have our assholes open for white people no more.
It takes basic 1+1. If you're not funding a block, then it is not your block.
Yeah,
Not your block.
yeah.
If somebody else pays for your wife's maintenance, your wife's hair, your wife's nails, then she's not
All
your
right.
wife.
That's right. Then the coochie belongs to them.
Ah, yes. So it's basic 1+1. Where
All
does
right.
ECOWAS get its funding? Where does IGAD get its funding? Where does AU get its funding? Where does all
Exactly.
these blocks we have in Africa, where do they get their funding? And once you can answer that, then you are going to know
You
the
already
econ.
know. You
Yep.
already know. It's from Europeans.
Hmm.
So
And they don't
I
they
turn
don't
my
even
back on ECOWAS. ECOWAS can kiss my black ass.
they don't e- I like how they don't even hide it. If you go, for example, to the AU website and you ask where does AU get its funding, they're going to say 80% of our funding comes from well
You're
wishers.
of a who?
Well wishers.
Well wishes. Well, that they sound crazy because of well wishes, because of
Yeah.
European coffers. Well wishes.
And it's not even
Sound
that
crazy.
hard. Africans are something, especially African politicians. It's not even that hard to fund a block that works for you. It's not that hard. You guys steal millions every year.
Exactly.
And
Because
take money
they
to
don't,
fund your
you
block.
keep forgetting like you've been common sense before. They don't give a fuck about Africa. That's what you,
Uh,
is it right? It wouldn't cost money to fund that much, but they don't give, I don't want to spend, I don't want to spend my money I stole to be funding no fucking Africa. Are you crazy?
Not even
That's
your
a,
money. It's our money. It's African money.
yeah, but I'm using it for me. Shit, you didn't know. You didn't know that. Shit.
Yeah. So
Your money, the more is my money. Shit.
So ECOWAS is on the verge of collapsing because of that. And the financials, I know whoever is making noise is not even ECOWAS, it's the financials. It's the owner of the puppet is angry, and now the puppet has to,
Of course.
ones who finance it are not seeing its benefit anymore. They've lost all the oil that is there in Niger. They have lost all the minerals in Burkina Faso. Of course, that doesn't sit well with them.
Of course.
That's why they're talking
Remember,
about
before they begged them to come back, we're gonna war against you, niggas. It's gonna be war if you don't come back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna war against you, niggas. It's all right. We're going to war against them.
But come on,
But
they
that
don't
don't
even
work.
use common sense. These people. I mean, if you're threatening somebody, at least have somebody else threaten them, not Tinubu. Tinubu can't threaten no one. It was Tinubu telling them we're going to invade. I
That's what
mean,
he said.
come on.
That's what he said, Tamari.
Nobody is scared of Tinubu, man.
Why would I come back and you threaten a war against me, kill my people, and invade me? Now you say, oh, we're friends. Come on back, brother. What? If you don't get your crazy ass out of here, we know, you're the white man's puppet. You would,
Mm.
you weren't going to invade to help none of us. You going to invade because the white man's man, because now half the economics is gone. Get out of here, crazy black bastard.
But I don't know if Diomaye Faye is trying to sell a certain image to the financials, because he's been acting like it's not impossible to bring them back to ECOWAS. That was why even
Uh,
the first time he was on press, he said that yeah, Mali is they are rigid, but they are not inflexible. I can convince them. Those was his words after he met with the Malian general. He said that yeah, Mali is rigid but not inflexible. So that was why they
well,
even gave him that role
well,
yesterday.
I
Because
guess that's over because they wrote your thing. We turn our backs on this fucked up shit. They tell you in the right, we turn our backs on it. So
Mhm.
I think that's inflexible, Demore.
So he still has that full that he has that fake confidence about him. He still believes that he can sweet talk and bring back the likes of
Uh,
Traore back to ECOWAS.
well, I believe I can fly. Don't mean it's gonna happen.
No, you can't.
Hey, that's right. I can't, but hell, shit. I, me flying is as much. Me flying is as much as him getting them back in Ecowas. Shit, little to zero.
Yeah. Same as Tinubu bringing development to Nigeria. Same thing.
That's
Zero.
right. Same
Yeah.
right.
So,
Corrupt ass bastard.
but I don't even think he knows what he's saying when he says Niger is inflexible. Bro, Niger literally is building another pipeline and abandoning the one that they had built across the other neighbor because their neighbor said that they have to open
Said
the border
no.
in order for them. Yeah, they had to open the
Yeah.
border in order for them to load their oil in their port, and they said you can keep the pipeline. We're not opening the border. We can build
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
So
Keep
they
it. Fuck
wasted
it.
all that millions. They wasted millions of money. They left millions of money because of opening a border. And you think
All
they are
right.
going to go back to ECOWAS for free? They
Uh.
are not coming back. There's no way they are coming back to ECOWAS
But you
for free.
forgot that they found out secretly France
Mm.
tried to bribe them. It's okay. We know you niggas owe like money. We're gonna give
Mm.
you $200 million. Not the people, but the junta for yourselves. If you let us put Muhammad Bazoum back in and let us keep doing the shit we've always been doing, stealing from you. Then you keep your 200 million fucked up dollars. Motherfucker, we got control of the country. We'll make
Mm.
billions, you idiot. No, two hundred
So,
million dollars. So crazy.
and I'm never buying this gimmick again of I don't know the youngest. And I knew that this guy was there was something in him because how do you leave
You,
prison 2 weeks to the
you was
election and win it?
yeah,
How?
you was right. I wonder. See, that's what I get. Instead of having knowledge and going deep in it, I wanted to believe, and I got smacked in the head because I wanted to believe.
Yeah, you believed you can fly. Look at you.
All right, it got smacked in the head.
I knew this. There's no way you live. You know, it was almost a Hollywood script type of
It was. That's
narrative.
true.
Yeah, you
Uh,
leave prison 2 weeks to election. You
I
win the
sounded,
election
I
clean.
sounded more like you. You sounded more like me. It's phony. I said, give a chance tomorrow. Let's work it out. Let's see first. Nah, it's bullshit. No. Then tomorrow, we got to give him a chance. Let's work it out. Let's see first where we make judgment. You're like, nah, I don't believe this. This sounds, it looks phony.
this is this is a Disneyland type of script
That's right.
made.
Oh, I got caught. I wanted to believe. That's why I got punched in the face.
the youngest the youngest African president. Come on.
Yeah.
So at 41 years of age, he's trying to sail back the little steps. You know, those three countries
We're
have
going
really
to
made
cover
us
you
step and
guys.
they've shown Africa that what can come, what can happen if we become truly independent. And this man is trying his absolute hardest to make sure that we go back those steps that we've made forward. You know, we've made steps forward as Africa. If you look at Africa, it's making steps forward. It's what Keith always talks about. The genie is out of the bottle. And this guy right here is trying to take the genie back to the bottle. Anyway, so he was tasked with that duty. That was after ECOWAS admitted that they were disintegrating. That is after the three nations left. And the reason they gave it to him was because during his one is because he is a puppet like all the others, and two, during his first official visit to Mali on May 30th, he said that he could bring them back to ECOWAS. He said they were rigid, but they were not flexible. He said that Mali and its neighbors Niger and Burkina Faso could come back to ECOWAS. You know, at that time they had just announced that they would leave ECOWAS, but they had not actually formalized the leaving of ECOWAS. But they did that on Saturday, and that has, of course, raised concern among ECOWAS and its financiers because they now have seen it. They now have believed that this one is gone. And the fear is more countries are going to follow because in 2, 3 years' time, other countries that are around the same region are going to look at the three countries and realize that we've been living in slavery, because how is Niger in just a few months already exporting millions worth of oil, fuel to China? How is Niger already looking to build a nuclear power plant? How is Niger already looking to build? How is Burkina Faso already looking to build a gold refinery plant months in? We've been independent, allegedly independent, for 60, 70 years for some African countries, and a few decades for South Africa, because they were too busy dancing while other countries were fighting for freedom. But we've been independent for all that time, and I can't name a single African country with a functional nuclear power plant, apart from maybe Uganda, which is seeking to build, not yet built, seeking to. Apart from, I can't name countries with functional nuclear power plant. We still have to depend on electricity that goes off every now and then, and that never comes on in Nigeria. At least in other parts they go off and on. In Nigeria it's always off. We always have to, we have to depend on 60, 70 years technologies. We have to fly in 1940s choppers. Nothing functions 60, 70 years later. But look at Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. They are months in, not even 2 years in, but they have nuclear power plants being built. They have gold refinery plants being built. They have zero tolerance to corruption already in place. They have politicians, presidents like Traore refusing to take the presidential salary. So I know the fear that is there. It's not even about the three countries leaving, that is a fear, but it's about the domino effect. The fact that other African countries are going to look, other African youth
Exactly.
are going to look at Burkina Faso, for example, and realize Burkina Faso is actually doing good.
Exactly.
Yep. So that is, I guess, that is their biggest fear. And that is why they are doing everything absolutely possible to make sure that the three countries come back to the bloc and they continue. It's
Continue the slavery.
yep. It's when you put in mods, worms in a jar, and one tries to climb out, the others always pull it
Grabbing
back.
them back. Yeah,
Yep.
it's not called worms in a jar. It's called crabs in a barrel, Diomaye. That's the term. Crabs in a barrel.
Yep.
Crabs trying to get out, the other crabs snatch and pull it back in. It's called
Mhm.
crabs in a barrel, crabs in a bucket. That's the
Yep.
term it's called.
The crabs in a bucket type
Yeah.
situation, where they know what is gonna happen in a few years' time in those countries. Imagine the gold refinery they're building in Burkina Faso, the amount of money,
They're
billions
gonna
is gonna
have.
be in
Right.
Burkina Faso.
They'll go to them. Like he did. He nationalized that, kicked all the white people out. We're gonna control our gold. That's what you do. White people gonna crazy. They're gonna try to invade them, try to kill them, because the wealth of Africa has been belonging to these no good Europeans for the last 300 to 400 years. They've been robbing, stealing, killing throughout Africa for 400 to 500 years. Now they're scared
Yes,
about worrying about losing their grip on
yep.
the grip on Africa.
The fear is if actually those countries achieve not even fully half of its potential, just half of its potential. If Burkina Faso can achieve half of its full economic potential, then it's not gonna be the same as any
Exactly.
other African country. It will look like it will be a North Korea, South Korea type comparison when you compare it with
Yeah,
its neighbors. Yes, and of course the neighbors will
yeah.
want to be like that.
You start developing. Like, hey, what's going on around here? I thought you told us that shit. This country was gonna be fucked up. It don't look fucked up to me.
And you look at the blocks that are supposed to be working for us, for example, Ecowas, and you can't name me one thing Ecowas has done other than threaten. It
Nope.
doesn't work for us, and it's time we start calling such organizations out. They receive billions of funding every year from wherever they receive from, but they never actually
Yep.
do anything for Africa. They never do
Nope.
nothing for Africa. ECOWAS has never, it has a military wing, by the way, and it's a West African bloc. It has never even intervened when Boko Haram was abducting kids. It has
Nope.
never.
Because it was never meant to do that. It's meant to be worthless.
Or maybe they get the same paycheck. ECOWAS and Boko Haram, they're paid by the same person. They were having salary delays, all of them. It's actually true. I'm sure they are paid by the same person. So it's it's all about doing away with all those. Anybody that we do not finance is not ours. Anybody, any organization, any African bloc that is not financed by us as Africans is not our bloc. Belongs to them. Only that it is here, but it's not our bloc. And I love that uh, the Malian general did not even hide that. He said that ECOWAS is a bloc that is financed by foreigners.
Corner.
Yep.
Fact.
So that was Diomaye Faye being sent to sell out the three countries that are really making Africa proud. And I know they are going to hit them with everything possible. They are going to hit them with propaganda. I saw 21 people died in Mali, in a wedding in Mali last week. They were attacked
Of
by
course.
a terrorist group. So expect so much of that. Expect so many
Of
terrorist
course.
attacks in
Better
wedding.
believe. Exactly.
Couldn't
Exactly.
even
That's
couldn't even let that Malian brother marry. They killed him and everybody at his wedding. And they said it was a jihadist attack. So expect those jihadist attacks meant to depopularize the government, to make the people feel like their government is not working for them. Expect a lot of propaganda on the same. Expect a lot of attempted coups. Expect a lot of external influence.
that
And that is
you
why
better
I'm happy.
believe it.
Yeah, that is why I'm happy. For example, on Saturday when they met, one of the things that they talked about was having a common military unit
Currency.
in the
Common
Sahel.
military, common currency.
Mhm.
You're talking about taking back. Understand that was also part. All those countries were
Mhm.
part of the one of the great African empires.
Mhm.
Niger, that's
The
parts
Malian
of
Empire.
the Mali. Yeah, the Mali Empire.
Mhm.
So it's wealthy. They all unite together.
Mhm.
Hell, they keep that money. They're gonna be a wealthy country. They're gonna be a wealthy block. Wealthy.
Mhm.
We're keeping our shit. No, you niggas, you can't keep your shit. Supposed to
They
be the
can.
white. Supposed to be the white man shit. You horrible niggas.
It's not even an exaggeration that if Africa was to actually unite, we can take it back to the Mansa Musa.
Hey, everybody, Diomaye, should nobody be poor in Africa?
Mhm.
Your wealth is your wealth is supposed to make China rich, Europe rich, America rich. Should nobody ever be poor in Africa, Diomaye? Ever. I mean the common man. That's how
Mhm.
wealthy this Africa is. Should nobody be hungry, starving, poor in no damn Africa?
So I actually understand their fear. I know those those
Of
guys are
course.
not sleeping. Have not been sleeping lately. I mean, it's been blows left, right, and center. Nigerians are about to protest. Ghanaians are about to protest. Tanzanians are about to protest. The Sahel just shooting
Yeah,
the middle finger.
yeah,
The Kenyan.
you talking about exactly. You talking about Africa waking up? They're losing. It's gonna be all kind of. They're gonna have terrorist attacks in Kenya. Watch, this shit's real.
Yep.
They've had Africa for
Mhm.
400 years, the Moray, 500 years of stealing, robbing.
Mhm.
That's what made them wealthy. That's why the white people are on top because of Africa.
And the IMF is actually, for example, in Kenya, the IMF was supposed to have a board meeting this week, if I'm not wrong, to approve a certain loan to Kenya. They're supposed to loan Kenya the money to consolidate the 2024-2025 budget, but they canceled that meeting. I don't know why. So it looks like we might not get the loan, or we might get it under different terms, because the meeting was supposed to be on Wednesday. But if you look
Yeah.
at the IMF's calendar of event, it hasn't mentioned the meeting. So that means the meeting was cancelled. So it looks like they are not going, either they're not going to give us the loan that we required, about a trillion Kenya shillings. We borrowing a trillion Kenya shillings. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's in Ugandan money. That's, I don't know, is 100 trillion in Ugandan
you got
currency.
you got the money.
In Ugandan currency, that's about an infinite number of zeros. If you write it down in Uganda, they wouldn't even dare borrow. But it's not even something to be proud of borrowing that much. And it looks like they're not going to give it to us, either that or they are going to. And I understand the reason they don't want to give it to us. It's because there's a very, very high possibility that Kenya is going to default on its debts. Why? Because one, the finance bill was done away with. Secondly, any tax increase will be made by equal measure of anger. And you add a tax, they are out in the streets. So trust me, there is no tax that is going to be added on Kenyans
Yeah.
because the government knows you add a tax, tomorrow we ban parliament. So that is why there is a very, very high possibility. And I guess this is why the IMF must have cancelled the meeting. I can guarantee you that is why IMF cancelled the board meeting. They're supposed to have a board meeting to approve Kenya's debt because the government year starts July 1st. The government year in Kenya starts on July 1st. So it's 8 days into the new government year, and the IMF is yet to approve the debt. So it looks like they also know that Kenya is going to default on its debts and they don't want that. So I'm thinking they might be looking for a different type of backing because the fuel levy, the fuel subsidies type of backing, that is not going to
Yeah.
work. I think they are looking into the assets type of backing right now. If they're going to give us a loan, it will have to be an asset backed loan, a mineral backed loan. They might take either an asset or a mineral in Kenya and back it up with the same, like they do in DRC, where they take a few mines and then they use that as the Chinese have done that quite a lot in DRC, where they have taken a lot of mines and given DRC loans on the mines. So I'm thinking they might be looking into that in Kenya because taxation as a form of payment is not working anymore. But I know many Kenyans have not yet seen that. And I know when that comes into light, they are still not going to back it with any asset. They are not going to back it with any asset, not at the moment. That is not also going to work.
Yeah.
So I would advise the IMF, you are going to lose money. Don't loan it to Kenya. You're going to lose your 1 trillion. There is no way the government is going to raise 1 trillion to pay you back. They can't increase taxes anymore. They'll be beaten up. You can't back it up using assets. We will know. We will burn you up. So the only option you have is not
He
giving
said
us that
you'll be beaten up. You'll,
loan.
you'll be thoroughly thrashed.
Yeah. So I think that is why they postponed the meeting. And I think the best option, if I was working for IMF, I would not give a loan to Kenya at the moment. Also, you're gonna lose money. The people are already asking
Good.
for an
What the
aid
hell do I care about IMF crooked ass? Shout out
loans.
to Airtime did the thing on the damn IMF
Mhm.
today. Right. So IMF was set up to be crooked, set up to be criminal. It's a criminal organization. I'm good. I hope you lose money. Hope you do. Shit.
And as we move away from the IMF, as I come to the end, I don't understand what is happening in Haiti, kid, because apparently Baba Q has laid down arms and is asking for national dialogue. What is happening in Haiti,
Oh,
really?
I don't know. Maybe I got me. I don't know. I know they got most of Kenyans are just guarding the damn United States embassy.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
the prime minister was asking for more Kenyan police. He requested for more Kenyan police officers, and it looks like he will be given that. Although the money that was meant to be given to them is yet to hit their accounts because apparently your Congress refused to pass the money, so to pass the
Yeah.
motion that was to pay them. So they are yet to
Con-
receive the payment.
There's gonna be no. I can't. Listen, Kenya can't afford to be spending no money doing no guard of America and Americans that your guard refuse to give you the goddamn money. Listen here, I don't got no money, goddamn it, to be doing no shipping on Americans, and they tell me they Congress said no to give them the money to pay for the shit. The hell you doing? I'm not your goddamn colony. I'm not gonna be your bootlick and crazy as hell doing shit for free.
So from the looks of it, it looks like the Kenyan police are going to guard Haiti pro bono. It looks like they are going to do it
Yeah, crazy, crazy as hell. I'm not doing no damn pro bono work. You insane?
That's that's what they are doing. That's what they are doing. They are doing pro bono work in Haiti at the moment, and
You got me fucked up in the head. Out there, I'm supposed to be a third world country. I'm out here defending your embassy and for free. For my people already mad about the tax money, and you got me out here spending millions of dollars guarding your shit in a foreign country.
you know,
What?
this is the house Negro type of narrative
Yes,
in real life. Like the American embassy is under attack, and the Kenyan Negroes are like our embassy.
yes.
It's they are gonna talk about we are defending our embassy. Our
Yeah.
embassy is getting attacked. Your embassy, it's not your embassy, bro. It's the house Negro type of,
That's
that
exactly what it is.
yep. Because imagine if it was attacked, those Kenyans would fight for it to the death, protecting their embassy. They would say we are
Exactly.
protecting our embassy. Personally, if they took me there and
Exactly.
I was protecting the US embassy and the barbecue and his gang came, I'll just be enjoying
And
my
you,
barbecue, letting them do whatever they came to
that's
do. Like
right, right. You gonna
I'm
die,
not fighting.
Demore. You gonna die, Demore.
I'm
Protect
not
the
fighting.
master's house.
I'm not,
Protect the master's house, and ain't even getting paid. Well,
yeah.
shit.
I'll tell barbecue to wake me up when he's done. There's no way I'll fight him for US embassy. I'm a Kenyan. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell him, do your thing, wake me up when you're leaving so that I can
I
lock the
say,
gate.
I say, brother, we're both Africans. You do your thing, brother. I ain't
Yeah.
got shit. I
The
don't
enemy
even
is
know.
poverty.
I don't even know why I'm even here, brother. You do your shit. I, I was I was kidnapped when they kidnapped me to get me here.
But it looks like barbecue has proposed to lay down arms. He's ready for national dialogue. I don't know if it was the fear factor. Maybe he saw a video. Maybe he saw that video of that Kenyan police who entered that vehicle through the window and through the he
I'm
said
sure I'm sure that scared the shit out of him.
yeah. He said, and they knew he's fighting a different type of police
He's an
force.
African people always want to be like they're Africans. We don't want to kill other Africans. Maybe we can talk it out. If we can't talk it out, then we gotta kill them.
Yep.
That's African nature. So they
Yeah.
see other black people there. They don't want to kill them because they're African. So
Mhm.
they'll say, let's talk about it so you understand the situation. Listen, you Africans like us, we don't want to kill you because you're Africans. And the white man has got you working for him. The only reason he's there because they're stealing. The reason why you're guarding this embassy, that's where he steals all the shit out of my country. That's why we're poor. Like you.
No, you are poorer than me.
Yeah, poor than Kenya. Yeah, they poor than Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it looked like he had a presser. The barbecue had a presser, and in that presser, for the first time, he did not have his guns. It was just him begging. He was requesting, not begging. He was requesting for a national dialogue, and he said that he's ready to lay down arms in order to restore peace in Haiti. And he said he was calling for the Haitian new prime minister after the old one. They made the old one resign on the airport. So the new one,
yeah.
they don't want
Man,
to him so
yeah,
much.
they got him in a resign. They tell me they're gonna blow his head off when he landed. I guess you would kind of resign.
And that brother said that he's not paid
Somebody
enough.
say
He
you.
said, I'm not
Somebody
paid
say.
enough for this.
Somebody
I'm
say
not
you come
paid
back.
enough for this. And he resigned. He said
Right.
he said his head getting blown off is not in his job description. He resigned. And the
Right.
new one is called
I guess they.
Jimmy. Yep, the new one is called Jimmy Cherizia, and he's the one that he's no, the new prime minister is called Gary Conil. Jimmy Cherizia is barbecue. So he's the one that is calling for to have a dialogue. If I were the new prime minister, I
Yeah.
would actually have that dialogue because at the end of the day, you need to have a peaceful Haiti if they are ever going to build anything really, because the fighting is never going to end. It will be, the people who instigate the fighting will always instigate it, will always fuel it, and Haiti is always going to be messed up. So if I was the prime minister would actually sit down with barbecue and have the conversation that he wants to have and actually understand what does this barbecue wants, and maybe that might bring a little peace to Haiti.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
So
good question.
yeah, as we come to the end of the show, job is coming up in a bit with, of course, an interesting conversation. That was all of that was happening with Diomaye Faye being sent out to sell out his fellow Africans. He was mandated with the role to discuss, not just to discuss, but to bring back Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to the Ecowas. Otherwise, Ecowas was going to disintegrate. So the financiers of ECOWAS wants the three countries back. That is why they have mandated Faye with that role to discuss, and he will be going to Burkina Faso soon to have a meeting with Traore on the same on his terms. He's going to discuss the Traore's terms of return. That is insanity because it's never gonna happen. And apart from that, looks like Barbecue, the Haitian gang leader, is seeking for a conversation with. He's asking for a national dialogue to restore peace, which is a good thing
Yeah,
for it because it doesn't make sense. It is actually a master move. It's a chess master move from Babak. You have to give it to him because the plan was let those black people kill each other, let the Kenyans and they just wanted
exactly,
people to kill each other, and Babak
exactly, Demar.
taking part in that. He said, "I'm not fighting my fellow black Africans. I'm ready for a
Exactly.
conversation."
That's what happened. Exactly. They want to make black people kill each other.
Yeah, he's playing them on their own game, and give it to him. He's a very intelligent man for that, for not falling, because the plan was for you to go massacre each other out. You go massacre each other out. Our hands are clean. We did not send our American forces. We did not even pay the Kenyans to come there. So you do your thing, do your thing. So that was the plan, and Barbecue did his thing and played them on their game. So if he actually has a conversation, if he actually sits down and has a conversation with Barbecue, then that means the Kenyan police forces will come back to Kenya unharmed. That will be a
Yeah,
failure for the ones who had planned it. So I
exactly
had not
right, Demar.
understood it, but after you've explained it to me on how Africans are, they don't, Africans still have that love for each other. I now understand why Barbecue. It is not that the Kenyan police are scaring him, it's just that he does not want to shed fellow
Exactly. Exactly. Because you don't want to kill other Africans. You don't want to do that.
Africans. It's
You
it's
know,
it's
because it's just our nature. We're not bloodthirsty killers. You know?
it's
and then
akin to
and then
somebody putting you and your brother in a cage and then asking you to fight to death. Then you and your
yeah,
brother down,
yeah,
telling that somebody we're not fighting. Come fight us, the
yeah.
two of us, if you want a war. So
Exactly. You
the plan was for the
know,
two brothers to skin each other alive in that cage, but it is not happening,
and that's
unfortunately.
exactly what they wanted to do. And I have blacks kill against blacks for their own interest. And that's what they always do. Exactly. Because it's not the Kenyans' interest in there. Kenya gets nothing out of it. What they get out of that? Shit. Nothing. It's the white man's interest.
Mhm.
So I'm getting nothing out of the situation.
Yep.
So and then me seeing another African there, I don't want to hurt another black man without trying to talk to him and say, man,
Mhm.
this is the reason why we doing what we doing.
Mm. We don't have to fight really. So as
Yeah,
we come to,
exactly. Yeah,
I
let
hope
me
you enjoy.
dialogue with my brother first.
Yep.
I don't want to. They're trying to make us black against black, and I don't want us warring on each other.
Yeah. They thought they were swift until they met barbecue. They thought they were swift with it.
Remember, he's a former police officer.
Yeah, so as we come to the end, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. It's always a pleasure. Much love, family. Much love, kid.
Much love, Tamori. Get home safe. It's rain. Is it raining over there?
Yeah, it's drizzling a little bit.
Okay, get on dry
Okay.
and don't get barbecued.